All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the fourth game of today as we bring you TDF versus NACL here from the far, far north. This is Shatter. Spawning on the north side here in the green, we have TDF bringing double Montana, quadruple Des Moines, Zath. Goodness gracious.
Not surprised.
Howden Liu, a 5 cruiser lineup here. And rounding things out, a Vampire Deuce, and what I assume must be, let's have a peek.
Yes.
As a legendary gearing. I gotta find him. Yes, there he is. And let's have a look at the Vamp, just because I'm curious. Okay, yeah, he's built about like the way I would expect. Okay.
Yep.
Are these all? That's
no. The Des Moines are split. 2 are legendary, 2 are range.
Yeah, a bit of a mix there. Bit of a mix.
And if you look at the Des Moines, the range ones are going towards the far extreme flanks. Makes perfect sense.
Okay. All right, talk to me about the NACL lineups. Zach.
Yeah, opposing them, NACL bringing an Ohio, a Schlieffen, a full secondary build Schlieffen, I want to comment, including Auxiliary Mod 3. Interesting.
Nice.
A Napoli, a Salem, a Marseille, and a Des Moines, legendary Des Moines. And then they've got, am I looking at the right one? Yes. And then we've got 3 destroyers. We've got a Daring, second Daring, both non-legendary, and then a legendary Shimakaze to round out their lineup.
Indeed. Now, as the intro video point kind of hinted at, this version of Shatter came about in the last iteration of the tournament. So the B cap in the middle is basically unchanged. If you've ever played Shatter and randoms, this is basically the same B cap you're used to seeing. But the caps on the wings are in a completely different spot. They are moved farther away, and they are smaller. The C cap in particular is, well, look at that place. Like, that is not some place you want to be if you're a destroyer. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. I do also want to comment for a moment on Montana for TDF, Spartan 700. He's doing something very interesting. Obviously, he's got one of the Doe captains, or Halsey. But if you look at slot 1, in his build, he's got damage control modification. What that means is his DCP is even longer than the standard, 40 seconds for American battleships?
It's at least 30.
Yeah.
It's at least 30.
The module adds another 40% to that, which is super sexy. And then I believe that whichever skill it is, top 3 over on the right, that adds even more action time for DCP. So that Montana, man, he can just sit there and take HE spam for days.
I'm not going to lie, Zath. I feel like the damage control mod is fairly underrated by a lot of players.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
Well, a little bit of early fire trading. Yeah, trading here over the Howden Liu. He tried to bomb the Daring, which was caught on Des Moines radar. Still lit on Des Moines radar. But they are putting some good shells into Big Gunner's Howden Liu. Blue Monkey's gearing getting beat up way over on the C-cap, taking a tremendous punishment here from the guns of the Shimakaze. Those aren't words I ever thought I would say.
And he's still spotted.
He's still in a gunfight. Oh, what are you doing?
Because he's on fire. He's on permanent fire.
Yeah, he's on fire. But I mean, like, why would you take the risk? Until you're in the smoke. Like well within the smoke.
I'll bet you he saw those torpedoes from the Shima and got scared and, hit W really hard. Forced him out of the smoke. He stopped, he reversed, traded a little bit more HP because of that.
Barton taking a good-sized hit. What just hit him has to have been the Schlieffen, I'm guessing. They've done a really good job burning down poor Big Gunner as well.
Oh, yeah.
His next heal is 30 seconds away, and he's 10 seconds from a repair.
Yeah, he's in a unenvious position, stuck bow in.
To a Des Moines who's just going to burn him mercilessly to death.
Yes, as long as he can back up and not be spotted, he'll be okay, and he can continue just vomiting those airdrops over awesome. So
it's finally where he's at now. Hell Knight taking a big hit through the nose from the Ohio.
Just saw that.
Harmlock way over here, down on the H line. It's NACL that strikes first, picking up the A cap here on the back of Cross Map's Daring. Cross Map Clap. What a great name, Zath. Look at that.
Gotta love it. What's interesting was it was Pammy Rogue over at Charlie. Radar did not come out to shoot anybody. I really expected him, once those 3 torpedoes from Speed Ray, the 3 racks went by, I really expected him to open up and try to use that radar to his advantage. He didn't do that. Blue Monkey opened up and actually took a one or two hits because of that, even though he's in a smoke.
Yeah, absolutely got hammered for it now. Submarine bias over here on the 2 line, going to flip the 8 cap back, so that early cap advantage to NACL, they're going to lose it almost as soon as they grabbed it, as the Blue Monkey's gearing also picking up C. So now it's on NACL to try and make a play here to pick up some points. I got to say, Zath, Big Gunner's hounding Liu's in a place that I would not want to be. And that is in a bow-on duel with an opposing Des Moines. Like, I don't want any part of that guy.
I mean, the big thing is, can he stay unspotted? And you can see Awesome is continuing to just lob shells over and guess, and he's actually guessing right. But the other thing is, Big Gunner knows where he's at. So
look at the Daring and Des Moines staring contest at D's.
I love it.
The Daring has the Des Moines proxy spotted. Harmlocks Ohio is just continuing to drop big AP shells through his deck.
And look, now Awesome is moving up in his Des Moines. He got caught on radar.
Yep. It's not doing him it's not really doing them much good knowing where he is, though. Howden Liu bombs now coming in for the Daring again. Those aren't going to land anything. Those are all going to be astern of the Daring, as Equity Index is going to pick up B here in a very hard fought, very well played maneuver there.
Yeah, this was a tough fight for both teams, really.
Very much so.
Now, TDF played in Clash of the Classes 5 also. They were extremely competitive. They got all the way towards the end. I think they lost like 1 game total until they finally got knocked out in the semifinals. So, very strong team showing there. Of course, NACL, we know, has a pretty strong competitive pedigree as well.
Yeah. I don't think Hell Knight's long for this game, Zath. He's in a bow-on duel with Awesome 101. He's going to lose that duel eventually.
Some Ohio shells, by the way. They're in the air.
The last Ohio salvo missed, but this first salvo looks pretty damn good.
Ooh.
Right through the bow. It's enough.
Nope.
He gets 14.
Now it's enough.
Now it's enough. He got a full pin through the bow on one of those shells.
Well, it's important to keep in mind.
Put the fire out with 14 HP. Go ahead.
You gotta keep in mind, in competitive, you absolutely do not pronounce a ship dead until it's dead.
Oh yeah, no, it has to die. You've got to. It's like what's the line from Murder Mysteries in books? It's there's no body, there's nobody dead.
Right.
So if you don't see it come up in your feed and watch it sink, it ain't actually dead. That's important.
Right. Exactly. So I mean, it was fantastic job there, showing the experience of competitive players there. They kept shooting until it was dead.
Well,
and
with
even
B
after.
with B under their control, NACL now free to rotate Equity Index's Daring somewhere else. It looks like they're going to bring him to the east side over here to back up Apple's Schlieffen.
Yeah, Blue Monkey now. Look at those torps coming right by him. Very close.
In the Shimakaze, you're playing a very cat and mouse game here. Blues come all the way to the 9 line looking to get torps back on Apple's Schlieffen.
Now, for those of you guys who don't know, the legendary module for the Shimakaze allows you to vomit torpedoes even faster than you normally can. However, it comes at a cost, and that is your gun DPM, I believe, is reduced slightly. And the other big thing is your torpedo turrets turn so ever slowly. They're just glacial. So you have to pre-plan what side you're going to fire racks off on, and you absolutely cannot knife fight with that Shimakaze.
No. Once you make that mod to your ship, that ship is basically not going to be useful in a gunfight ever again.
Correct.
Schlieffen Hydro's got almost 2 minutes to run, so I would assume that Apple is not going to really have a problem with these gearing torpedoes coming in here. Looks like he's decided it's time to move up, or at least he's creeping forward slowly. It was about half speed, maybe. We're at the halfway mark of the game. It's about almost 120 point lead here for TDF. A very even game so far. They control the wing caps.
Apple does take one on the tip with a Schlieffen. He was trying to get his bow into the C cap, and he took a torp for his trouble.
Now, Blue Monkey is doing something that I love, Zath, and that is he is continually staggering these launches, right? He's doing a great job. He's putting them downrange about every 30 to 45 seconds right out of the tubes.
That's right. Big gunner
Now-
at 1,000 and burning.
They're going to get him.
Yeah, got
Finally
him.
going to pick him up. There he is, left all by himself in the middle of the board, unable to really do anything. They do finally bag the Howden Liu here along the 5 line. So now it's a 2-ship lead. They're still upside down on points, but if you're NACL, you have to feel kind of good about where you're at in this game.
Yes. Now, you were talking at the start. You seemed a little surprised to see so many Des Moines. Why is that the case, sir?
It's not a matter of a surprise. Des Moines is an excellent ship, but in general, when you want to, my experience is that you don't necessarily want to put all your eggs in one basket, right? The beauty of cruisers at Tier 10, in particular, the various cruisers that now exist, you have a lot of capabilities offered to you. Do you want 12-kilometer radar? Do you want crazy AP? Do you want fast-firing guns? Do you want whatever? Like, there's a cruiser you can reach for in almost any situation you can think of. But when you take only one cruiser, you really kind of limit your team's capabilities. What can I react to? Well, I have a whole lot of 10-kilometer radar and a whole lot of fast-firing guns.
Yes.
Which sounds awesome and probably isn't bad. But what if you want long-range AP power? You don't have it.
Yeah.
Not really, right? You don't have... These aren't Stalingrad guns. Is the Des Moines going to take one of these? He's going to take a Napoli torp, ladies and gentlemen.
Lashem over there?
Right under the screws.
Which Des Moines are you talking about? Because there's so many of them.
Pam,
Pammy Rogue. I see it now.
Pammy getting pushed here by the sleeve and gonna go out to the torpedoes.
He's dead. That's it.
He gets his fancy acceleration boost, but it's not enough to get out of the way of the Schlieffen torpedoes. And now between the Schlieffen and the Salem on the north side of the line, already on the home side of the map here for TDF, they're gonna struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Cap's flipping now.
Gearing goes down. Blue Monkey dies.
They finally caught him out.
They finally caught him out. So
where did he die? He died in the smoke. He died over here in front of this smoke screen. Yeah.
And then
he drove right in front of this Daring and Shimakaze and got melted.
Yep. And then we also just lost the Vampire Deuce for TDF.
Yep. Everything coming up NACL. Once they had that 2-ship lead, they're able to turn around and flex their ship and health advantage. And we see it here now. 7 minutes left to play. They're going to own all the caps very shortly on about a 250-point lead. This game should be over in a couple of minutes.
Now, getting back to the discussion on the Des Moines. Ooh, Apple just got smacked. Back to that discussion. One of the things I noticed on the EU today was we saw an awful lot of Des Moines. And I think that's in part because of the global bans of so much 12-kilometer radar. Des Moines is relatively easy-ish to play, right? You put it in a position. It's like the Roman gladius, right? It just buzzsaws whatever. It doesn't have the range, but you get it into position, right? And they just hammer whatever. Speaking of being hammered, there goes Lachem's Des Moines.
Yep.
That's the strength of Des Moines.
DM, if you remember a long clan battle seasons ago, right? When I used to play with you guys in Kraken, that was Moskva was the ship, right? For that, like it was like, okay, you don't show up, you don't play a lot with us. Here, have a Moskva. You pretty much can't go wrong. We trade battleships over here on the 9-10 line.
Yep.
As the Shimakaze torpedoes claim the Montana. But excuse me, the Schlieffen shells claim the Montana. But he gets his revenge.
Yeah, the shells high-fived each other on the way to kill each other.
Pretty much,
opposite.
Pretty much, yeah. But yeah, I feel like Des Moines very much falls into the same category, which is you can hand a Des Moines to almost anybody, and it's a ship that is very, very straightforward. Okay, it's very capable. There's a lot of things it does well, and it's a ship that you almost can't go wrong with in any lineup you can think of.
Look at Spartan getting AP shots right now from the Des Moines.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
There it
Full
is.
pins in the butt. That's enough. But I think that it is possible, and I think this game is a good example. It's possible to overload your lineup with too many Des Moines, right? The beauty of cruiser in King of the Sea, especially tier 10 cruisers, is that you have such a wide variety of capabilities And I feel like, with the possible exception of certain corner cases, right, there's probably some maps you can make the argument that, okay, overloading on this type of cruiser is not a bad play. But I think that in general, you want to be looking for opportunities to maximize the diversity of that cruiser lineup, because it will handsomely reward you in the end.
Yes, absolutely. Take a moment and look at the NACL logo, by the way. Just want to comment on that for a second there. The clan leader, Russian Balance for Life, that's his wedding picture. You look very carefully.
What?
That's his head. They took out for the
with
CL.
his head with the sunglasses? I see the head with the sunglasses.
Yes.
Okay.
Looking like electrons there. So.
Yeah, around the CL. I love it.
Yeah, nicely done there.
Well played, gentlemen. Well played.
Right.